All right, so I think I speak for everybody when we talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a big surprise for PlayStation gamers. Now, granted, yesterday was all about Xbox, if you think about it as well, with Microsoft having their Inside Xbox show. And a lot of Xbox gamers wanted more information for the Series X. Of course, Microsoft didn't show anything for Series X, but they did give you more of an insight on what's coming out right now for the Xbox One and Xbox One S, etc. So again, they didn't really reveal anything. But ironically, before the show even started, Sony stealth released the PlayStation 5. Now, first of all, let me get some shout outs real quick. I got to shout out Blaze 4K because really Blaze 4K was the first one I saw do a stream on this, and I didn't even see this at all. I didn't know what the hell to expect. Like, he was live, he was showing off this controller, and I'm like, there's no way that's the final design. He's like, dog, it's on their blog. And lo and behold, as soon as more people got eyes on this thing spread like wildfire. I'm talking this controller was trending more so than Inside Xbox. This controller got more buzz than the damn logo did. It literally broke the internet, which is insane. And it goes to show just how big PlayStation is, for one, but it also shows just how anticipated this console is. This is the most anticipated console. Nobody can spin this at this point. If a controller has this much more buzz than a console's final design and all these features that we got for Series X, that definitely paints a very vivid picture of what's going to happen when we get the final console design. But aside from that, let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead and get into this look, man. PlayStation 4, when you look at the PlayStation 4 back in 2013, Sony launched the DualShock 4. The DualShock 4 was actually Sony's first real attempt at completely forward thinking in the future of gameplay. Now, Sony introduced the share button. They had an improved ergonomic design for DualShock 4, and many gamers and hell, even developers have praised the DualShock 4 and called it a massive upgrade over the PlayStation 3's DualShock 3. DualShock 3 has some of the worst triggers in the history of a controller when it comes to the bumpers. They were not good at all. What did Sony do? They took that feedback, they improved upon it, and made it that much better. The controller was well received, but even Sony had to ask themselves, how do you improve upon such a controller? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get. All right, so aside from the new design, which is the first thing you'll see, one thing you'll notice immediately from this new design from the DualShock 4 is the name. Sony has officially abandoned the DualShock moniker. That is right. DualShock was known for its intense vibrations when it comes to games, but also just known for being a comfortable controller over the years. Of course, it's been a staple for PlayStation. Sony has officially left that and is now giving you the DualSense. The DualSense is by far one of the coolest looking controllers that they have, and it has a lot of possibilities behind it, but also there are some hidden things that a lot of people are not talking about. So let's go ahead and get into this. Aside from the brand spanking new ergonomic design, which a lot of people are already doing comparisons of, I've seen comparisons of the Xbox One controller, I've seen people comparing this to the Switch Pro controller, and hell, even the Stadia controller. It definitely borrows elements of it. That much is for certain. That is definitely for certain. It definitely has elements from it, especially in the topper or the top upper portion of this. It definitely does have a lot in common with those. But what does Sony do with this controller? Well, first of all, they built this for innovation. This particular controller, if you guys remember, we covered numerous patents. This controller can not only detect the sweat and your heart rate from when you're playing games, but this controller also offers a few particular new features that they haven't talked about just yet. One thing you can also take into account is the vibration in this controller by itself. So Sony went with haptic feedback. Haptic feedback is something that they are really pushing forward. Now, what is the difference between haptic feedback and adaptive triggers that we saw in Xbox One at the start of this gen? Well, one thing you need to understand about the adaptive triggers that's in the Xbox One. Adaptive triggers, again, these are set by the developer, and they're pretty much as is. Unless the game is still in development, there's no way you're going to get updated, vibration for those said controllers. Now, again, there's no talks of Xbox Series X having haptics, but we'll definitely find out over time. But as far as the controller is concerned, they didn't really talk about haptics. Now, again, going back to adaptive, the adaptive triggers are set by the developer, and they're pretty much, a preset. What you get is what you get when they send it out there to the customer, which is us. When it comes to haptic feedback control, these are basically Sony can basically fine-tune this basically with the developer. All they have to do is drop a patch, and the controller will literally, after you download this patch, you sync your controller. I'm guessing that's going to be the new thing with this. You sync in the controller, and you're going to get your update, and you update the controller, and your vibrations get a lot bit more intense, especially in different said games. Obviously, VR is going to be a big deal when it comes to this controller in terms of immersing you. I guess Sony really took note of this too, but a lot of people do still play their PlayStation VR, and they use their DualShock 4 in their hands, and they just look around and play. This is obviously going to be a big option for you when it comes to DualShock 5 or the DualSense. So you're going to have this as an option, and they really want to immerse you into the experience. Again, haptic feedback definitely has a lot of cool possibilities behind it, especially you feeling the creaks and nooks and crannies, especially when you're playing a horror game, or you're playing an action adventure game like an Uncharted, and you're playing Horizon Zero Dawn and bow and arrows. You can feel this stuff. That's cool. That's basically what this new ergonomic design is for. It has a lot behind that for sure, and it looks dope. They got rid of USB. They're not using the USB 3.0. They're now using USB-C for quicker charging. This thing looks, it's going to be good. It's going to be charged fast. They also improved the battery life. Battery life is definitely going to be better. And with the new built-in microphone, which basically has a lot in common with PlayStation Vita. A lot of people were definitely bringing this up, and it definitely did bring this up as well. So basically, with the PlayStation 4, when you got a base headset, Sony has officially abandoned that and is now giving you a headset directly into the controller. Now, a lot of people are automatically kind of questioning that, like, how well is it, how well was that? Well, if I remember correctly, shout out to my homie Jack X62. I remember I was talking to him a while ago, and he was on his Vita, and he actually sounded crystal clear, no problems with his Vita. And granted, Vita's been out for how long, and Sony has improved their audio and their microphones over time. So I don't see this being an issue, especially when you really look at it. And again, for those of you that might go, oh, this is going to be annoying, it's really not. It has a mute button at the bottom of the controller. They also have a brand spanking new share button, which they're calling the create button. The create button has another list of possibilities of what they're going to do, such as, I guess, better snippets of gameplay, better improvements to the share play system, and of course, their actual PlayStation Store, where you can go into Share Factory and render your clips. I'm seeing much more stuff being added to this in the future, so yeah, this is definitely going to be pretty damn cool. Another thing they did change too, they changed the PlayStation button from the DualShock 4, which was in the middle, above or below the speaker, and they changed that to strictly the PlayStation logo. That actually was the first thing I noticed when I was looking at design. I was like, okay, is that really the final design? And everybody was like, yep, that's it. I was like, that's interesting, because I was so used to that circular thing. You think that's something they would do, but they decided to opt to not go with that, and instead went with strictly the logo. Again, it's actually grown on me a lot better, more, or should I say more, as I continue to look at and get more, synonymous with this. So it's not really a crazy, insane change, but at the same time, it was definitely a shock that they got rid of that. They kept the speaker on the controller, so you still have that, obviously. And of course, they kept two particular key features that was in the DualShock 4. So the first thing being the light bar. The light bar was, it was used for VR for one, and a lot of people didn't really like it as much on the back of the controller. Some people found it annoying. Sony has officially took that and improved it for DualShock or the DualSense, and it's now basically on the top of the controller underneath the new touchpad. So the touchpad is still there. It's now flushed against the controller, looks more flushed against the controller, making the controller have more of a Tron-like appearance with the light bleeding on both sides of the actual touchpad. It looks dope. It does look futuristic. And of course, you know, again, it has a lot of cool elements in that regard. So it's really shocking how they did this. It looks really nice. I do like this. I do like that look. And of course, there's another part of this which I'm gonna save for this other portion, so we're gonna get into that in a second. As far as the D-pad and actual buttons, they are see-through. These are clear see-through buttons, so this is gonna be the staple. I'm guessing again when we get into this other portion where we'll talk about it, but you know, this is what they're going for. It has a lot in common with PlayStation Vita, because PlayStation Vita had similar buttons like that, but I'm guessing they're more so like the DualShock 4. That's what I would reckon. They're more like DualShock 4, and yeah, I don't really know what else to really say there, but they look fine. Shoulder buttons look a lot better for sure, and of course the triggers are definitely bigger. Again, like I said before, with the new haptic feedback controls. Analog sticks have some ergonomic detail on the sides. They have the X's around the actual grip, and basically this is to help your thumbs not slip off. Even though I never ran into this issue with DualShock 4, some people did claim that they did run into this issue a few times, or when the actual rubber material on the DualShock 4s would actually wear off super fast, depending on, you know, how I guess long play sessions, you know, aggressive play sessions that would happen. So they did improve that. It looks a little bit more ergonomic with that, so that's what they did. Overall, man, that's pretty damn cool. It looks really damn cool. I like what they're doing with this, and that brings us to the other portion of this, which is the new look and realm of possibilities, man. Let's talk this portion. This is the portion I'm looking forward to the most. Now, again, we talked about all the improvements, talked about what they're doing, you know, different with this controller. Looks great. But one thing that you'll notice right out the gate, aside from the new look and of course the features, is the color. So Sony ditched the one color pattern with the DualShock 4 and of course their other controllers. That's kind of always been their staple. Well, aside from the PlayStation 1, which was great, but you get what I'm saying. They kind of always had the staple where the controller would match the console and just be one color, one base color. DualSense is the first controller that Sony has launched with the console to have a dual pattern type of design, or a dual color pattern type of design. So Sony's going with a white and black look with this, and immediately more people are speculating how this console is going to look. Will the console look like it's white and black? Will it be black and have white highlights of it? You know, this controller has so much room for improvements in terms of like color, like designs and limited editions. It's incredible right now. There have been numerous there's really been a lot of concepts. Like a lot of people have been throwing like Spider-Man concepts. Some people are making legacy looking controllers. They made a cyberpunk one, which I'm gonna show on the screen here. It looks cool. The realm of possibilities are really cool in terms of customization, and limited edition consoles are definitely gonna look a lot more better when it comes to us going down the road. These are pretty sick, and y'all already know Sony's gonna push that for sure when we're looking at Spider-Man and we're looking at Horizon Zero Dawn. Not sure about The Last of Us 2, but you never really know at this point. But hey, you'll see. We'll definitely see as we get closer, but this is definitely pretty damn dope. This controller looks awesome. Now, again, with the light bar in the front, it looks just like a Tron. It looks very similar to Tron, the movie Tron, and that's what the vibes I get. But ironically, it also has a lot in common with PlayStation VR. PlayStation VR looks very similar to this when it comes to the actual color pattern, and again, makes sense they carried that over if you think about it when it comes to that. Now, one thing that Jim Ryan said in the actual interview as well is that we'll get more in the coming weeks, and so, you know, they're on track with the actual system. And since they're on track with the system, and more than likely there's not going to be a delay with this, which, again, I'm going to really have that be a toss-up at this point. I've seen a lot of good people talk about this, and this has kind of been on my mind as well. Would both these consoles, the Series X or PlayStation, be delayed? But I don't see it happening just yet, but at the same time, it's kind of a toss-up. None of us can really say it's not going to happen just yet, and the reason why I said that, we can't predict the market at this point. We're really dealing with a pandemic. The CV virus is insane, so I can't really say it's really gonna launch on time. But we'll see. We'll definitely see as we get closer. I'm not trying to be that guy, but we'll definitely see. As far as the console design, we don't know. We don't know what this console is gonna look like. But one thing is for certain, and this one little controller and the details that they released yesterday definitely did a good job of, is that they increased the interest of gamers who want more for PlayStation 5. And so that pretty much brings me to the end of this. What do you guys think about this? The DualSense is now the new controller. It's going to be the new norm, quote unquote, with the PlayStation community and of course the new next gen console. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and yeah, let me know. If you guys are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And definitely hit that bell icon and select all for notifications so you won't miss content. I guarantee you there's something on here you will like, and we've covered pretty much everything for PlayStation 5. No, I haven't been as aggressive with the videos, but to tell you the truth, I covered pretty much all this in time. And one thing I did a good job with, and I'm very proud of, is that I've informed a lot of you, and you guys know what to look out for when it comes to half the stuff that's been revealed. And of course, now that we get in the final specs and designs of this, well, I guess you guys can see why I have been very, very quiet and really been getting through my backlog. But one thing is certain, though, the PlayStation hype train has not stopped at all, and PlayStation clearly shows why they are a stronger worldwide brand. Microsoft has done a great, fantastic job with the Series X in terms of keeping gamers informed, while also showing you the features and, of course, what's in the box and how the form factor is. So you basically got all your questions answered with Series X. We just don't know the pricing. But with everything else going around with PS5, again, we'll definitely see. And I did notice some different things that Microsoft did. As soon as this controller was revealed, they updated their website. They went from calling the Series X the world's strongest console to saying this is our best, or this is our world's strongest console, which I thought was interesting. Again, I'm not trying to go in that realm, but that was interesting that they changed that out of just nowhere. But anyway, besides the point, that's another video for itself. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Y'all be awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.